After the return of the domestic game, focus now switches back to the European competitions, and we got the latest round of matches coming at you from the Europa Conference League. Right, folks, back together in a prediction video today. We look forward to match number 3 over in the Europa Conference League, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button to get your bang up to date with all things Conference League related, Papa Rose related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one, Ruski. A quick scan of the table suggests some of the big boys are doing A-OK. But are there any surprises left in store in the Europa Conference League? We'll take a look at all of it in just a second. A big shout out to my VIPs. They are the Patreons. Big shout out to you guys, and thank you for your continued support behind the bloody scene. So let's get into it. Of course, a recap last time around, which was, of course, way back. When was it? Way back in September, something like that. But anyway, let's go forward and have a look-see, shall we? Of course, Alashkert took on HK Helsinki, and they lost. They got battered in a 6-goal thriller, 4-2 in favour of Helsinki. Meanwhile, Lasic against Maccabi Tel Aviv ended up as a 1-1 draw, all square there. Gent against Famagusta was a 2-0 win for the Belgians. Over the Cypriots, of course. Partizan Belgrade, is that right? Took on Flora, 2-0 win for them. Called it, boys, absolutely called it. Zorya Lugansk. They lost to Roma. Mourinho's boys doing A-OK. CSKA Sofia and Bodø Glimt ended up as a 0-0 draw. Kicking on forward, AZ Alkmaar against Jablonec, which was a 1-0 win for the Dutchies. CFR Cluj picked up a draw against Randers. Union Berlin over in the Bundesliga took on Maccabi Haifa and, of course, won 3-0. Feyenoord keeping it lively in that group with the 2-1 win over Slavia Prague. PAOK Saloniki took on Slavia Bratislava. They drew 1-1. Copenhagen took on the Red Imps over in Gibraltar. 3-1 win for Copenhagen. Meanwhile, Spurs beat Mura. Not only did they beat them, they thrashed them 5-1 in the end. Partizan picked up a win, a defeat against Rennes. 2-1 win, same group there. And Basel did smash past Kairat with a 4-2 win. And Qarabağ picked up a 4-1 win on the road against Henningberg's Nicosia. So that's, of course, a state of play there. Let's take a look at the situation in the prediction league then, shall we, for this week and this week alone. Your kingpin is Gaming Charlie and Liam 2000, so give them a round of applause. They kicked ass and took some names, some other big names in there. Winky, PM Togepi, Bianca Muller, Fira 77, and Ultra Omira also breathing down the next in the bronze medal spot. Let's take a look at the overall grand scheme of things for the Europa Conference League in the prediction league, and this is what the situation is right here, right now. Fira 77 is your kingpin with 22 points to the board. Gaming Charlie is in second, and then we have a 3-way tie with Vincent Hong, Yannick Buster, and Shane O'Bloody Donald. That's right, kicking ass and taking names. That's the state of play. Of course, we are still wide open in the prediction league, so make sure you get involved with the picks using the code, which I'll hopefully show you in a minute. Let's take a look at the table then, shall we? This is, of course, how the tables look in the Conference League. Tel Aviv leading the charge over in Group A. Lasic are in second spot, of course, only on goal difference, with Helsinki and Alashkert grinding it out at the moment, not looking good for either of those two sides. Meanwhile, Partizan and Gent are in command over Group B, 6 points apiece. Roma in charge in Group C, but a Glimt in second spot. Kicking off into D is AZ Alkmaar. They got 4 points. Jablonec are in second with 3. Feyenoord in command over in Group E with Slavia Prague and Union Berlin on 3 points themselves. So it's not out of the woods for any of those 3 teams, and maybe even Maccabi Haifa to get themselves back into it in the next match. Copenhagen dominating in Group F. PAOK are in second place. Meanwhile, in Group G, it's Spurs, Rennes, both on 4 points, and of course, Partizan with 3. Mura out of the woods at the moment. Meanwhile, Qarabağ and Basel lead the command over in Group H. It's very, very tight over in those respective groups. Now, if you want to get involved with the prediction league, it is free. It is a bit of fun. You might get a T-shirt or a bit of honour at the end of the season. So if you want to get involved, use the link /ECLPIX. That's the code, and that's the state of play we are right now. So let's get into match number 3. Kicking on forward with the next round of matches. Oh, here we go, boys and girls. Kicking on off over in Group A. It'll be Alashkert up against Lasic. Of course, these two sides never played each other, according to my eyes. But coming into Alashkert, 42% form up against the 67% form of Lasic. That means just 1 defeat the past 6 games for Lasic. 1 defeat the past 4 for Alashkert. Both sides on recent decent form. Of course, Lasic did lose to Salzburg way back when at the start of October. That was the last match. Meanwhile, Alashkert comes to the back of that lost to HJK Helsinki at the back end of September. Meanwhile, coming forward this weekend, LASK will take on Wolfsberger over in the Austrian League. They are fancy to win that game. Meanwhile, Alashkert will take on Punjik Yekarabakin over their league as well. The odds: 4-1 is your Alashkert, 6-1 is your LASK, and we got 11-4 is your draw. So LASK are your favourites on this one. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for the away team on this to take it to the house. Next up, we have Helsinki against the Maccabi Tel Aviv, also in Group A. These two sides scored in my house, played each other 2 times, 2004, one for Maccabi Tel Aviv, 1 draw, of course. That one I knew was a 1-0 win for that one win was a 1-0 win for Maccabi Tel Aviv, of course. Heading into this, HJK Helsinki just 1 win in 6. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat by 6 games for Maccabi Tel Aviv. 67% form compared to HJK Helsinki's 25% form, of course. Last time played each other over in Helsinki was a 0-0 draw back in July 2004. Tel Aviv coming to this back of that a win against Hapoel Jerusalem. They also will look forward to Netanya this weekend before they lock horns with HJK Helsinki midweek. As for Helsinki, they did lose to Sanajonen over in their respective league over there, and of course they'll take on Ilves this weekend and the Finnish league. I know it well. Kicking off with the look at the odds on this one, we have 50-8 on is your HJK Helsinki, 20-20 is your Tel Aviv, and 11-5 is your draw. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for the hosts. First win of the campaign, I think. We'll see about that. Next we'll go to Alkmaar's Famagusta taking on FC Flora Tallinn. That's over in Group B. Now these two sides never play each other, of course they haven't. But coming into this, Famagusta have actually won twice in the past 4 games, 33% form, of course. As for Tallinn, they come into this just 1 defeat in the past 5, 58% form. They do come into this on the back of that loss. That's actually a win against Tartu over in the respective top flight there. Meanwhile, Famagusta did beat Opoel in the Cypriot top flight as well with a 2-1 win last time around. They'll take on Limassol this weekend as well. As for Tallinn, they'll take on Paida over in their respective nation, the top flight there. As for the odds here, 10-7 on is your Famagusta, 3-1 is your draw, 7-2 is your away win. That's Flora Tallinn. The hosts are your favourites on this one, so I'm going with the win for the hosts. Kicking off forward is Partizan. They're going to be taking on, I believe, Gent. Trying to find the odds on this one. There we go. Let's take a look at this game then, shall we? Of course, in a bit more detail. Played each other 0 times will be the first time, of course, but Partizan Belgrade kept this 5 wins on the bounce, 92% form. Up against Ghent's 58% form. They've only lost once in the past 4 games. Ghent did lose to Antwerp last time around over in the Juniper League over in Belgium, with Belgrade picking up a win against Talial, a 3-0 win in, I think it's the Serbian Cup. But of course, this weekend they'll take on Radnic before they take on Ghent. So Ghent they'll take on Leuven over in the Juniper League, and of course they'll take on Partizan after that. The odds on this one, 23-20 is your Partizan, 94 is short, 25 is your away win. That's Ghent on this. Going to go with a 2-1 win for the hosts. Make it another win. And of course, looking very good in their respective group, which is Group B. Kicking on forward now, we have Bodø Glimt. They're going to be taking on AS Roma, Mourinho's boys, of course, over in Norway. Of course, these two sides, according to my eyes, have never played each other. It'll be the first time. Glimt coming to this 92% form, just 1 blip in their resume over the last 6, 92% form. That 1 blip was a draw. Meanwhile, Mourinho's boys coming to this 1 defeat in the past 4, 67% form, 2 defeats in the past 6 games. Of course, they did beat Empoli last round, 2-0 win. Prior to that, they also beat Lugansk 3-0. So back-to-back clean sheets for Roma. As for Bodø Glimt, also back-to-back clean sheets. After a draw against CSKA Sofia, they also picked up a 3-0 win against Stabæk over in the top flight in Norwegian. They take on Sarpsborg this weekend. Bodø Glimt, as for Roma, got a difficult match up against Juventus in Turin. Of course, look at the odds. 4-1 is your Bodø Glimt, 3-1 is your draw, 20-13 on is your Roma. They are favourites. I'm going to give it a 2-0 win for them on the road. Same group, we have CSKA Sofia. They'll be entertaining Zorya Lugansk. Of course, battle for the second spot, you would think. These two sides played each other 2 times in 2019, just 1 win for Lugansk, another for CSKA Sofia, and 1 draw. Of course, Sofia coming to this, unbeaten the last 5, picking up 4 wins and a draw to boot. As for Lugansk, just 1 defeat past 4, 58% form for them. Of course, last time they played each other in Sofia was a 1-1 draw back in August 2019 in the Europa League qualification campaign. CSKA Sofia did beat Tashko Selo Sofia last round in the top flight in their respective league. As for Lugansk, they did beat Denishir Shimoniv, 2-0 win as well last time around. This weekend they'll take on Shakhtar, which of course will be a tough one. As for CSKA Sofia, they'll take on Butov Polodiv over in their respective, and again they are fancy to win that game. As for the odds in this game, of course, we've got 6-5 is your CSKA Sofia. They are favourites, 11-5 is short, 25 is your away win. That's Zorya Lugansk. I'm going to go with the win for the hosts, CSKA Sofia, to take it to the house. CFR Cluj will entertain the Dutchies, AZ Alkmaar, this coming midweek. Play each other 0 times, of course, heading into this one over in Group D. Cluj coming to this just 1 defeat the past 5 games and 58% form. Meanwhile, the Dutchies 3 wins on the bounce. But prior to that, they were had a 3-game losing run or 3-game winless run. Of course, coming into this one, AZ Alkmaar did beat Cambuur over in the Dutchlands, with Cluj coming into this one after beating Gaz Mitan over in the respective league. This weekend, they'll take on Rapid Bucharesti over in the top flight. As for Alkmaar, they'll take on Utrecht, another difficult match for them, though, this week. Look at the odds on this one. What do we have on this? We have AZ Alkmaar coming at 65 for the victory. Are your favourites? 94 is your hosts. That's Cluj, and 23-10 is your draw. I'm going to go with a win for the nobody. I'm going with the draw right down the middle. Split it 1-1 right down there. A point, which I think will be happier for AZ Alkmaar. Point on the road. Kicking off forward, we have Jablonec. They're going to take on Randers coming out of Denmark, of course. These two sides, going to Myers, never play each other. But Jablonec coming to this, just 1 win in 5, 50% form for them. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 6 for Randers. Of course, Randers did draw with Bodø over the Danish flight just the other day, back in the 3rd of October, with Jablonec drawing with Hradec Králové. This weekend they'll take on CSKA Plodrovic over in their respective league, and of course the Randers will take on Odense. And again, we'll be looking forward to the midweek game against Jablonec. A lot of travelling for Randers this week, double away days. Jablonec 64 for the victory, 90-10 your Randers, and 21-10 is your draw. I think I've gone with Jablonec to take this one 2-1 win to give themselves a big old win over in Group D. Kicking off forward into Group E is Feyenoord up against Union Berlin in the German-Dutch crunch clash over in Feyenoord. These two sides never play each other, of course. Heading into this one, Feyenoord just 1 defeat past 6 games. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat past 4 for Berlin. Of course, they've actually got 50% form compared to 75% form for Feyenoord. Feyenoord did lose to Partizan last time around. Meanwhile, Union Berlin did lose to Mainz. I'm sorry, they beat Mainz last time around in the Bundesliga 2-1. This weekend, they'll take on Wolfsburg. Difficult game for them. They are fancied a little bit on that one. Feyenoord on this one, taking on Warwick, and they should win that as well. Looking forward to the midweek game, though. Of course, over in the Europa Conference League, the odds on this one, probably the biggest game of the week here. 23-20 is your Feyenoord. 11-5 is your away win. 5-2 is your draw. I'm going to go with a win for the Dutchies on this one. 2-0 win for Feyenoord to take it to the house. Maccabi Tel Aviv, though. Maccabi Haifa taking on Slavia Prague, also in the same group, which is, of course, Group E. Never played each other. Maccabi Haifa coming to this. 2 wins the past 6 games, 42% form up against Slavia Prague. Back-to-back defeats for them. However, 67% form, winning 4 of the last 6. Prague coming to Slavia Prague coming to losing to Sparta Prague in the Prague derby last time around. Meanwhile, Maccabi Haifa did lose to Bereshavira over in the Israeli top flight as well last time around. They'll take on Hapoel Jerusalem this weekend. As for Slavia Prague, they'll take on Slavia Liberec. A difficult match, but of course they're anticipated to win that one. Look at the odds on this one. 11-5 is your host. 5-4 is your Prague. 11-5 is your draw. I think I've gone with a win for nobody. Right down the middle. 1-1 right down there. Kicking off forward, we have Copenhagen taking on PAOK, of course, over in Greece. It's Denmark up against Greece. These two sides played each other 1 time since 2013. It was a 2-0 win for PAOK. It was a friendly, so it doesn't really count. Anyway, Copenhagen coming to this, unbeaten the last 3 games, picking up 2 defeats, though, in 6, 58% form. As for PAOK, unbeaten the last 6, 92% form. Just 1 blip on the resume, which was a draw against Slavan Bratislava. They did beat Crete last time around, of course. Meanwhile, Copenhagen did draw with Viborg. This weekend, they'll take on Zorya, of course, and they'll fancy their chances to beat them there. As for PAOK, they'll take on Bolos, and again, they're anticipated to win that game. 21-20 is your Copenhagen for this one. 25 is your PAOK on 5-2. I'm going to go with a win for Copenhagen. At home 2-0 win up against the informed PAOK. Slavan Bratislava will entertain the Red Imps of Gibraltar. Do we have any odds on this one? There they are. There they bloody are. Of course, it's going to be one-sided on this one. Slavan Bratislava hope to put up a cricket score. Anyway, they played each other 2 times since 2021. 1 for Slavan Bratislava. There's been actually 1 draw. That draw was way back in Slavan Bratislava, way back in August 2021. They already played each other this season in the Europa League qualification campaign and have also ended up in the same group in the Conference League. Anyway, 67% form for Slavan Bratislava. Just 1 defeat the past 6 games. Meanwhile, just 1 win and the past 6 for the Lincoln Red Imps. Of course, last time around they played Copenhagen and they lost. And of course, they'll take on Europa this weekend. In the Gibraltar League, first game of the season, so maybe they'll get themselves a win to kind of whet the appetite for their midweek game against Slavan Bratislava. As for Bratislava, they did beat Praman Kokojova over in the top flight, in their National Cup. This past time around, they'll take on Timana this weekend as well. Look at the odds on this one. We got 11-2 on is your Slavan Bratislava Red Hot Favorites, 12-1 is your Waving, that's Lincoln Red Imps, and 6-1 is your draw. 3-0 win for Bratislava to take it to the house. Kicking off further is Miura. They'll be taking on Rennes, of course, over in Group, F? These two sides, Group G, these two sides never play each other, of course. Heading into this one, Miura just 1 win in the past 6 games. However, 1 defeat in the past 5 games for them. 42% form, a lot of draws knocking around. Meanwhile, Star Rennes come into this just 1 win, 1 defeat in the past 6. Unbeaten the last 4 as well, picking up 3 wins and a draw to boot. As for their last time around, they did beat PSG over in the top flight in Ligue 1. Meanwhile, Miura did draw with Bravo Ljubljana over in their top flight as well. Meanwhile, this weekend they'll take on Metz. That is Rennes. Of course, they are favoured to win that one. As for Miura, they'll take on Aluminium Krudogoko before they lock horns here in the Europa Europa Conference League. Look at the odds on this one. 7-1 is your Mura, 11-4 on is your Rennes, and 50-4 is your away at your draw. Rennes should win this one. Take it to the house. Kicking off forward though is Partizan out of the Eredivisie, taking on Tottenham Hotspurs, of course, over in the Dutch. Another player, of course, heading into this though. 58% for VT's, just one defeat out of the past 4 games. Meanwhile, Spurs also one defeat out of the past 4 games, looking very good at the moment. Of course, last round Spurs did beat Aston Villa, a 2-1 win. It was down at London, whatever they call it. Aston VT's, they did beat final last round, big win for them over in the Eredivisie. They'll take on Nijmegen this weekend. VT's, as for Spurs, they'll take on the Geordies in Stevie Bruce's 1000th game as a manager before switching gears for Europa Conference League. Let's look at the odds on this one. VT 7-2 for the victory, 11-8 on is your Spurs, 14-5 is your draw. I'm actually going to go with a draw on this one, 2-2. And again, Spurs on the road in the Europa Conference League might be a bit of a sticky wicket. Kicking off forward though is Qarabağ. They'll take on Kairat Alnidi over in Group H, that's right. Of course, no ratio, of course, heading into this one, Qarabağ, unbeaten the last 6 games, picking up 4 wins and 2 draws to boot, 83% form. Up against Kairat, of course, 67% form for them, just one defeat past 6 for them. Kairat did beat Alashkert over in their top flight, 3-1 last round. We were Qarabağ beat Qarabağ in their top flight as well last round. This weekend, they'll take on Zorya Matchday, and of course, Kairat will take on Maccabi as well in their respective. I don't know anything about those leagues, but anyway, in this game, of course, the Lockhorns over in Qarabağ, 64 on is your Qarabağ, 12-35 is your draw, 12-17 is your away win. Carry out this one. Qarabağ should win this one in Group G, and of course give themselves a big old boost after getting through to the knockout stage. And then finally, the final game of this round will be Basel up against Omonia Nicosia. Let's take a look at this one. Then no play, of course, Basel coming to this looking very, very good. 83% form, winning 4 of the past 6, unbeaten the last 6. As for Omonia Nicosia, just 1 win in the past 6, 33% form. They did lose to Olympiacos Nicosia last time around. We were Basel picked up a draw against Luzern over in the top flight as well. This weekend they'll take on Zion, and they're expected to win. As for Omonia Nicosia, they'll take on Apollon Limassol this weekend at home. Look at the odds on this one. Basel 5-2 on for the victories. The draw is 7-2 and 32 is your away win. Omonia Nicosia on this one. I'm going to go with a win for Basel on this one to keep it moving in the right bloody direction. That's my picks. Be sure to get your own picks using the code CUTLY4. That's UCL picks, ECL picks, of course, to get involved with the prediction league. And that is it, boys. Be sure to give us some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check the links down below. Of course, I'll see you soon for the next one, whenever that may be. Until then, we are done.